Hey gang, Gameface here, and I am back in Planet Coaster. That's where I am right now. Um, so not really, nothing's changed. Everything's exactly the same as it was last time. I'm done half the bridge. I'm not done the other half. So yeah, that's where we are, and that's what I'm doing. I think I probably should complete most of this today. Maybe I'll do it in sections this way so that it starts to look fuller, like so that I'll be able to actually come down here and say, oh, okay, that's the way it's gonna look. But we'll see. Waiting. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, so these are two different buildings. I knew that. That's kind of not good. Oh, I guess no, that would all be filled up. Maybe not. I don't know. I just don't know. So it really rained here today. Like, insane rain. Like, there was like a foot of water in the parking lot at work. And there isn't usually. Wow, those notifications take a long time to go out there, meep. Or at least this time I'll be able to check and see how many how long did it take? How many minutes did it take to send out the notification? Because I started at 6:31. I was actually paying attention. That's what I'm trying to say. I was actually paying attention. No matter what anybody says. So still gonna have to do this with the thing sticking through the bottom, because that wouldn't be any different, really. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, the middle there, though. Maybe I should do that first. That would make sense. Why would I do it that way then? Hmm. I want to block that up somehow. No. No. Yeah, that we'll figure it out after. Wow, that took a long time. A really long time. I might have to find another option for that. It took 8 minutes to send a notification. Hmm. That looks better. Hmm. Maybe I wasn't generous enough with this. I mean, like, aggressive enough. Maybe that's the right word. Maybe I wasn't aggressive enough. When compared to the other side, it looks pretty empty, is the bottom line. Of course, it could have something to do with the fact that I didn't add the stuff on the bottom yet. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Should have pushed some stuff down into there. I guess so. Nobody can see it though. I don't know. Doesn't really matter then. Oh well. I was gonna try to put the trail across the top of the thing. Instead of the bottom. But here we are, and that hasn't been that's not a thing that happened. So, yeah. See, it shows up where I want it. But it won't, well, no, it won't really go exactly where I want it. And when I click the mouse button to put it where it was going, it wouldn't go anywhere. It just ignored me. Okay, there we go. Well, that's just weird. What's that? I put it underneath one of the other ones. They turn that color. But none of these are that color. What the heck? It's got some weird mask on everything. And when I put this behind it, it removes it. Okay, forget it. I didn't even finish this one. And Twitch finally now tells me I'm streaming. And that took them 18 minutes. So, you know, you can't really complain about YouTube's notifications. Really. Sure, sometimes you don't get them. But when you do get them, you get them when things are happening. Not 20 minutes later. Which matters when it's a live stream. If Twitch notifications are this bad, like, what's the deal? It doesn't make any sense at all. How does anybody do anything? Is it people just don't show up for streams for the first 20 minutes? Or at all when it comes to my streams? I noticed Lee is streaming Borderlands 3. Don't know why I did that. That's no good. Really? According to this roof is flat. No, the headlights are on, so I gotta cover them. Not like it's gonna do anything, but if you can't see where the light is shining on, the light's not shining, right? Does that make sense? That turned out okay. Got a lot of stuff to add to it. I can do that now. Oh. Just want to go to sleep. That's not right. Yeah, fine. Don't put it there. Yeah, that's exactly what I didn't do. There we go. That's what I did. It's not really. It didn't work. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Should also have some smaller ones because, you know, they don't just all grow big. That would be silly now. No. Guess maybe I should put the upside down things on first. That might have been easier. I really need to do something about the middle here. I haven't really given it much attention at all. Maybe some little ones. Starting to come together. Well, that's the tastiest cup of coffee I've had all day. Or sip of coffee. I haven't obviously drank an entire cup in those 2 sips, but I've been drinking Tim Hortons coffee all day. And it's not very good. I don't think. I used to think it was, but I used to think a lot of things. So I guess like yesterday's live stream, I uploaded that to YouTube, so that's available there. That's not what I wanted. This is what I'm wanting. So yeah, that's done, and people have watched 4 minutes of it, or maybe it was 6. But again, of course, they don't show any of my stuff like that because I'm basically, the channel's been converted to a live streaming channel. And once that happens, you're done. You're done. You're buried. They don't have to deal with you anymore. Saving. Okay. Saved. I guess I should have probably tweeted something about live streaming. There we go. Now, I'm not sure what to do with the like this area here. It's almost like we need some type of building of some type. I don't know. Maybe we'll just build something and see what it turns out as. I know what I could do. We could just make it simple. Like, yeah, I don't have any of this yet. I'm gonna grab some castle parts. Stupid. Sorry. Hey, Wolfie. What was that about? Seriously, game. It's just so slow. Yeah, it is. It's just that it's so slow that it didn't respond. And I was way ahead of it, so it started doing other things based on what I was doing. That's what happened. Okay, so what do I need here? I need to grab some type of... probably beech tree. That's the best bet here. Where do we start out? So I never did get my video finished last night. I recorded it twice. And I threw both out. Well, I didn't throw it out, but I will. I'm not publishing it the way it was. So it rained here today, and when I say it rained, it poured. At I was at work for about an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm out of coffee at that point, and I'm like, and I had forgotten my coffee cup at home, so I had to go out and grab coffee. I've got my, good jeans on. I've got my Nikes. I've got my yellow, thick Champion hoodie. And I thought, yeah, I'll just go. I'll run out to the car. It's raining. It's raining a lot. But, how bad could it be? It was bad. So I waited until it calmed down a bit, till I could see the parking lot, because it was so bad at one point that you couldn't see the parking lot, which was 20 feet from the door. It was blowing, like, it was that bad. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I bolted. I ran out the front door, across there's a thing across where you can drive, and then there's like a divider, and then there's the parking lot. Thing is, the parking lot all tapers down to a drain. The guy was parked above the drain. I think the inside of his car was probably flooded. I ran out. I ran across the thing, and I thought, oh, this isn't so bad. Like, I think I'll, my hoodie will be wet, damp, but I'll be dry. And then I hopped off that divider into that much water. I was 2 steps in before I was like, ugh. And then at that point, I was just, to hell with it. I'm just going. So I basically stopped, and I walked to the car, opened the door, and my car was in that much water. Of course, I just, I own a Honda CRV, so I just started up, drove out. But, yeah, it was a lot of water. Yeah, I've never seen the parking lot like that ever before. Wait till it's done saving. That should be okay. So that's I have no food in the house. So when I have food in the house, I had nothing to eat. I could make something, but when I got back off work, because I didn't go out to get food at lunch, I just I thought, forget it. I'm just gonna stay here. I decided I'd do the worst thing possible, and I'd go to McDonald's on the way in. on the way back home. And they have these things called McTasters. There's a Thai sweet chicken, and there's a Chipotle burger, and there's a Mexican Chipotle. Oh, Mexican Chipotle burger. And they're like $3.19 each. So I thought, oh, I'll grab one of those. And then I was like, well, how big is this thing? Like, is it the size of a cheeseburger and I need like 2 or 3 of them? Or is it like the size of a like a regular burger? They're like, oh, it's in between that and like a quarter pounder. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just grab one. It's the size of a freaking cheeseburger. You need 2 or 3 of them. So, yeah, it was good though. Well, it was edible though. Sorry, I had to change that after I said it, because if you say it's good, people aren't going to believe you. So yeah, I grabbed that on the way home. And by that point, most everything had dried out. We did see this picture, and I laughed my ass off, of a guy, it was a Mercedes, in like this much water. Like, it was done. And the guy's sitting on the roof. And I'm like, yeah, you moron, you drove into that. You got everything you deserved. Not that I have anything against Mercedes. It's morons I have something against. I was driving to work this morning, and it was kind of dull. It wasn't like bright out or anything. Like, it was still warm. Like, it was still like almost 20 degrees, but you could tell it was leading to thunder. We were gonna have thunder showers today. So I'm driving to work, and there's this one place on my way to work where traffic backs up on the other lane, and there's a light. So traffic's coming this way, and they're all backed up. Meanwhile, traffic's fine going this way. And you get to the light, and, you're not... If you can't exit the intersection, don't enter it. It's the rules of driving. If you can't exit the intersection, don't enter it. And this guy in this big white truck with this big trailer, right as I'm pulling up to the thing, pulls right across. Like, in order to get around, I had to go around, basically turn right around the back of him to make that turn. So basically, I was becoming part of that traffic to go and just make a normal turn, because he just pulled right across the whole thing and stopped. I rolled down my window as I drove by, and I said, "You, sir, are an idiot." And rolled up my window and had to navigate around the back of him. Now, I wonder, I really hope he knows why he's an idiot. But because that's the problem. I don't think idiots know they're idiots. Oh, the McChicken. Yeah, I don't... Is the McChicken like real chicken? Or is it like formed pressed chicken? Generally, when I don't go to McDonald's very often, but if I do, I either get a quarter pounder. Generally, I get a quarter pounder and a Big Mac. That's what I would get for supper. if I were to go. Okay. I guess I can always look at what the McChicken is. They don't have it in the main menu. There it is. Oh, they start off with the tomato and mozzarella with crispy chicken, and then BLT, and yeah, the McChicken. Yeah, I'm not sure about the McChicken. I don't know. Like I said, I usually go with a burger. Chicken is what I cook at home. Like, that's almost every meal is chicken or pork. Occasionally, not chicken or pork. Okay, I have an idea here. Oh, it stayed on path. I clicked the other one. I'm like, why am I confused? I should know this. But it didn't do what it was supposed to do. I was ahead of it. Ugh. Hello? I'm just baffled by how low this has to go to get water in it. Like, seriously, right here, there's water. What is the problem, Planet Coaster? That sucks. That's not at all what I want. And it's just being stupid. It's just being totally stupid and not doing what it did like 3 feet away. I know it's not 3 feet. 500 pixels away. Seriously. Like, what am I going to have to do here? Oh, come on, Planet Coaster. This is not good. It's like, oh yeah, you can put it right up to here. But if you want it up to here, there. No. No to you. You can't have that. Because it makes too much sense. It seems logical. Not gonna let you do it. And it disappears. Why? Something to do with something here. Which makes no sense at all. And it does it again. And again. Why? Why? What are you doing, Planet Coaster? There's no difference between the land here and the land there. Yeah, it's not that. Oh, it's already... No, it's still there. What the hell? It's the unpredictability that makes it difficult to do things. Or understand what's going to happen when you do things. That's a better way to put it. Hey, Captain H.M. Murdoch. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so I got to, I don't know, add some green. Like there's not enough green already. Okay, let's like mark out the edge of the water, sort of, so that we know what we're dealing with here. Yeah, I was just sort of saying it because it's kind of funny in this context where everything's green. Maybe I don't have the same sense of humor as everybody else. But yeah. less of a theme park here and more of a, like a heavily themed a single coaster, but here we go. One of these. I don't like this. Dr. Pepper, eh? Okay, so I moved all that down to get the water to work. I think I got the water to work. So, now we have water. You know what that means. Or maybe you don't. What it means is swamp trees. At least a few of them. Just to sort of fill up the area. That's starting to look better. I don't know where to stop, though. Like, obviously I need to take this out so that this is not... Like, this looks a lot better than it does right now. But... yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's work on this. It looks like it needs some improvements. And that's probably fine. Is Dr. Pepper made with sugar? I should look that up. High fructose corn syrup. Meh. Oh, why do they use that stuff? I guess they need something to do with all the corn. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I meant, does it have real sugar in it? Like sugar cane. Not corn syrup cooked in a pressure cooker. That's some scary stuff, that is. And I know I drink Coke all the time. but I drink the Coke I'm drinking is made with sugar, not with and that's why it's always in the glass bottles, because it's made with sugar. It's Mexican Coke. Not enough people are using corn in their diesel. Biofuel. Well, when all the fuel is gone and we can't even make plastic anymore, then who's driving on corn? I don't know. Yeah. So, what can I do here? Well, see, I'm a coffee pro. I put down about 4 to 6 of these things a day, especially work days. So yeah. I guess it's the caffeine. Your thing, it's doing that to you. And Dr. Pepper doesn't have caffeine? Or I don't know. The other thing I like is like real sodas. Like Jones soda is one of my favorites. I drink a lot of Jones soda. It's just so expensive. You know, like you're talking over $2 for a bottle of soda. But it's so good. I love the orange cream soda. That really is my favorite. I did find, though, I was drinking it too much, and I was sort of like, you know, at the point where I was like, it's not as enjoyable. But they didn't have it for a week or so. So when I went on a road trip, and I was like, oh, I can go grab some soda here. And yeah, sure enough, they had it. And it was even better after not having it for 2 weeks. Yeah, see, I watched a video on that, and the Coke did nothing. They had used vinegar, and it did a better job. But of course, you know, drinking vinegar is not a good idea either. But yeah, when they did that, the Coke did nothing. They put teeth in Coke and soaked it for like 6 months, and it didn't do anything to the teeth. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, obviously different people can react to different things differently, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Can't remember who did that on YouTube. It was somebody who does restorations of like old tools and stuff like this. And he was doing an experiment to see which was the best way to get all the gunk off it, and to start the restoration process. Was what he was doing with that. The tooth one was a different one. But again, you know, it's on YouTube. Who knows? It could be fake. This is going on YouTube after I'm done, and it's all fake. So you know, a lot of the ingredients of Dr. Pepper are almost the same as Coke, though. Like caramel. I can't remember what it said. But yeah, I guess if it agrees with you, all the better. I think I need some trees here. There we go. Christmas tree? Nah. It's not suitable. I really should stop drinking all of it altogether. The sugar, corn, high fructose corn syrup, none of it's really any good for you. But I can't stop. It's bad that way. Whoops, I'm in the wrong place again. Meh. Okay, what did I do over here to make the water look like, you know? Ah, lily pads. Lily pads, that's what we did. Yeah, see, I can drink water when I'm thirsty. I don't think I'm drinking it for the thirst quenching. I'm pretty sure at this point I'm drinking it purely for the sugar. I'm pretty sure I'm addicted to sugar. I'm highly addicted to caffeine. And you won't believe how bad caffeine is to get off. Caffeine. Like I I quit drinking coffee a few years ago, mainly because I got sick. Um I not sick like uh like a disease or anything, but I had a really bad flu. And what happened was I basically couldn't drink coffee for 3 days. And I started to get all like I couldn't think straight. I went into every night I would go into hot, cold sweats to the point where I thought, at first I thought it was just because I was sick. Um, but what was happening was I was basically going through caffeine withdrawal, like big time, and it lasted about the hot cold sweats lasted about 5 days, but it only happened at night. But your body's like that. Um, Headaches, yeah. Um, I I started drinking. It's funny how caffeine in coffee and caffeine in tea are different things. It's weird, but they don't. My body doesn't react the same to one type of caffeine as it does the other, and I thought I could supplement it with tea, but all that did was make my teeth brown, so I quit drinking tea. Um, and went back to coffee. And I'm back up to my large quantity of coffee on a daily basis. But I don't mind. Guess you can have worse addictions than caffeine. One sec. Seems like a scam. There we go. it was one of those. I think it's one of those long distance stealing scams where they get you to press, 2 to not be included in their survey or something like that. And then what's going on in the background is they're making a call on your behalf, and somehow they're stealing the 2, and that's giving them the right to I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'm not going to fall for that, of course. The ones I think are funny are the Visa ones. And I can't believe that people actually get caught by them. Excuse me. Yeah. They prey on elderly people for sure. But I don't. What I don't understand is where they get the numbers. How do they? Is it like? Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, they'll call my mom, and she's really good at it though. Like, they called her once and said, "Oh, your credit card has been compromised." And she was like, "Oh, well, give me a second. I'm just gonna go get my cell phone, and I'll call the Royal Bank, and we'll get this all sorted out." And they're like, click. My mom doesn't have a cell phone. But who could possibly think that you can pay your taxes with Steam cards? So when Revenue Canada calls and says, "This is the tax collector. We want you to pay your bill, or we're coming to put you in jail. We need you to go to Safeway and buy some Steam cards and give us the numbers off them. You can pay your tax bill that way." I'm like, what? Like, really? Really? You somehow think that the world has changed to that point? That we're taking Steam cards to pay your taxes, and that Revenue Canada will call you at your house? Canadians don't go to jail for not paying their taxes. They're just made to pay their taxes. They don't put them in jail. Very few countries do. Only one that I know of off the top of my head throws people in jail for not being able to pay their taxes. Here they just deduct your wages, and because you can't pay your taxes from jail. It's a proven fact that when you're in jail, you can't pay your taxes. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah. So when Revenue Canada doesn't phone you. Ever. Ever. They've never phoned anybody to say, oh, you know those taxes you were going to pay us? We never got it. They never do that. I doubt the IRS does that either. But yet people continually fall for it and go out and buy them Steam cards or Apple cards or some thing. Some of them knowing full well that they've paid their taxes. Sorry. Yeah. This goes to show you. People suck. Yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, yeah, my mom gets the same call. She has a computer. But she doesn't use it. She uses her tablet, is what she uses. But when they call, she's like, computer? I don't have a computer. It's funny. Microsoft emails me stuff all the time. I'm a software developer, though. And generally, it's part of my TechNet subscriptions or something. Well, it's not TechNet subscriptions, but it's the TechNet newsletter or something is what they're emailing me. I can't remember what the last thing was. Oh, wow, this Telecity that just called now? They called in May as well. Weird. Well, if they really know Mac, they should be able to do stuff on Linux as well. But they just know Mac on the surface. Mac is based on BSD, which is a variant. I can't remember when it's split. No, it still exists. Wow. Berkeley Software What is it? Berkeley Software Distribution. But it's when it came about. Now it's not. They didn't. It is basically Berkeley Unix. So Unix existed. Berkeley got wind of it, and based on what they knew of it, they created BSD, FreeBSD. So it's not Unix, but it's fully based on Unix. And it was started in 1976 by Bill Joy. Oh, wow. It's like AT&T, isn't it? Oh, no, he co-founded Sun. That's right. That's why it sounds familiar. Sun Microsystems. Java. Of course, I'm a Windows developer. Not that I can't write Java. I've written Java to work with get them in a remote into a DOS machine. I've remoted into a DOS machine with a 56K modem with PC Anywhere for DOS. Now I feel old. I'm not, though. I've just done a lot of things. I was working on a DOS product when I started my career as a developer in like 1999. So I'm like, yeah, I worked on a DOS product for the first 5 years of my career as a developer. It was an awesome DOS product, though. It's called Software POS. Over 10,000 terminals. This is a retail point of sale system. It's actually funny because most of the retail point of sale systems around these days are actually based on it. It's freaked me out sometimes when I'm going to work on something else, and I go and I look, and all the table names are the same as the product I worked on 20 years ago when I first started as a developer. It's kind of weird. But, oh well. I guess that's going to be the thing. And now, like, the world is so much different. It's actually funny. I talk to guys at work. Like, there's this guy at work. He's like 29, 30 years old. So he's basically came into the business about maybe 15 years after I did. He doesn't understand how a computer works. Doesn't know what an address bus or a data bus or how a CPU does things at all. It's like a complete mystery to him, but yet he develops software. Like, it blows me away. But I guess that's what the world's coming to. There's going to be very few of us who know that core knowledge. And then there's going to be all these people on the peripheral building websites and not really understanding exactly what they're building or what they're doing. Well, understanding what they're building, but not understanding how it's doing what it's doing. Sometimes I feel as though I can almost understand what they're saying. I've been here for so long. Oh well. Really? Just don't type format in DOS? Why? I think format has actually command line parameters that are required. So don't type format C:. But again, that can't happen. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. I remember getting my first computer. Windows 98. Well, it wasn't my first computer. I had dealt with computers a long time before that. When I was a kid, I had an Amiga 500. But my first Windows machine was a Windows 98 machine. I went and bought it. Cost me like $2,000. And I got it, and I played StarCraft. I got StarCraft, and I played it so much. Wow. I can't believe how much I played StarCraft. And somehow I got my hands on a copy of Civilization, which was awesome. I really liked Civilization. But the big stuff came when I went out and I bought a Voodoo video card. So I took my AMD Rage 128, my Voodoo 2, and I think it was a Voodoo 2. You ran it might have been a Voodoo 1, but you basically ran your video card out of your video card and into this other video card, and then you ran that to your monitor. And I got Quake 2, and that was the end, my friend. That was the end. Nothing has ever been the same since. And I'm not kidding. Nothing has been the same since then. Now, I will say though, whoever built my computer, my first computer, was an idiot. It had a 4 gigabyte hard drive. Probably like more RAM than 8, but probably wasn't much. But what they did is they formatted it FAT16. In Windows 98, they formatted the hard drive FAT16 and made 2 gig partitions. And I'm like, well, one, you formatted it FAT16. What are you doing? So I had the first thing I did within 2 weeks, I had learned all this already. and I had to do in the first 2 weeks of having a PC, I had to learn how to do fdisk, create new, reformat everything, completely reinstall Windows from scratch, and I did that myself within the first 2 weeks of owning my first Windows computer. I have to admit, it was only a few years after that I was a software developer, so yeah, it did not take long. But yeah, Windows 98. Yeah, it's weird. I had already left retail, like, because I worked in retail for a couple of years. I'd already left that, and I was already working at another company that doing software support. Yeah, that's weird. That's when I was doing the DOS development. Well, I think that turned out pretty good. I think we need something in here though. Yeah, I don't think Windows 98 ever came on a DVD. I think yeah, I have Windows. Well, I probably don't. I probably threw it away a long time ago, or gave it to somebody else who needed it. But I do remember the disc with the SE on it. Windows 98 SE. I think it was SE. Windows 98 didn't have USB support. Yeah, that was something you downloaded and added after. It was Windows 98 SE that had USB support. Just that in itself seems kind of crazy. Oh yeah, but most OS installs are multi-gig installs now. I don't think my Windows 98 install took more than 200 megs. Probably less. I'm pretty sure people had 250 meg hard drives. I was at the forefront when I got my 4 gig. 4 gigs. That's it. Now I have a machine that has 16 terabytes in it. Like, what? It's like crazy. Maybe not 16. Probably about 12. I got 16 over in the NAS. So, yeah, it's just insane. Where we came from and where we're going. Yeah, I can't remember what the Windows 98 install size was. As low as 120 megs. Or up to 295 megs. Windows 3.1 required between 10 and 15 megs. 95 was between... was 19 megs for the installer and 50 to 55 megs for the installed copy. Windows 98 could use up to 500 megs, you needed a 500 meg hard drive. And Windows XP was 1.5 gigs. I don't, you know, it's funny that people find this weird and they call it bloat. But it's not. It's the computers do so much more than they ever did before. Like, you know, like for one thing, just the visuals of the icons are much higher resolution than they ever were in Windows 98. You know, so even your icons on your desktop take up 10 times the amount of room than they used to. All the visuals in Windows, all the taskbars, you know, everything, all takes up room. If we were still running the old, you know, 3.1 graphics, yeah, it would be much smaller. And, you know, graphics card, we're on DirectX 12. Those things need to support so much more than they ever did before. Shaders and it's not just transform anymore. Like, all graphics card did before was transform, which was like, oh, camera point here, take world, spin world like this. That's what graphics card did. Graphics cards, as you can tell just from this, do so much more now. I said pixel shaders, and that's probably a thing of the past. I should pull out Quake 2 and play it again. But the problem with that, of course, is the music. You can't play Quake 2 without the soundtrack. And I'm pretty sure it's all copyrighted material. Written by Sonic Mayhem. Of course, Quake, the soundtrack, was written by Trent Reznor. So how does that happen? How did John Carmack possibly get Trent Reznor to write the... Like, there's Trent Reznor and John Carmack both sitting on a couch together. Of course, there's Trent Reznor, Robin Williams, and John Carmack all in one room. Yeah, I don't know. See, Quake 3 is where I lost it. You know, Quake 3 was good. But it wasn't, at the same time, Unreal Tournament came out. And Unreal Tournament just pushed things a little further. And in a completely different direction, too, in a way. I used to build worlds in both of them. In Quake 3 and... sorry, I guess it would have been Quake 2 I built maps. And in Unreal Tournament. And in Unreal Tournament, when you start, the world is solid. And you cut pieces out of the world as required. I don't know if the Unreal Engine is still like that, but I assume it is. In Quake, the world is empty. And you put things into the world. So what you would end up with is you'd build something and then you'd go to compile it. Because unlike this world here that we're navigating around now, worlds in Quake were compiled. Worlds in Unreal were compiled. They basically did point calculations for lights and everything, so that all the lighting was pre-calculated, and things along that lines. So there were lighting phases of the compile and things along that line. That's why when like none of the stuff that we put down causes shadows in Planet Coaster, because that would be way too expensive to work on the fly. Like, for instance, you look at this and you're like, oh, well, there's a shadow for that coaster. Block light. It only blocks global light. Everything in Planet Coaster only interacts with one light. The only thing that interacts with the lights we place are the ground. All the other light will reflect off something and go through it, and reflect off what's on the back of it too. Whereas in Quake and Unreal, all that was calculated. But when you did the compile phase in Quake, you could end up with a hole, and it wouldn't compile. It was a leaky map, and you'd have to go around and you'd have to try to find this hole that you left in your map. Yeah, I like I said, I don't know how things have changed, but back in the day, when you used to build Quake maps, they could crash, whereas Unreal was never ever an issue for that. Unreal took care of that by inverting the whole premise. And of course, UC, which was a programming language that used within Unreal Ed to program things. It's a time-based programming, and it was very interesting. Hard to wrap your head around initially, but once you understood it, you could do so much stuff in Unreal. I built flamethrowers and blob guns. I took the blob gun and made it so that if you got hit with it, you caught on fire, and it did damage, reduced damage over time, and stuff like that. So there was awesome stuff you could do. But you know what was best about all those games? Were the mods. You know, yeah, see, I don't miss that. I don't miss these things. I don't. I've played so much better games since then, but they were groundbreaking at the time. But I can never say that I miss Unreal Tournament or I miss Quake. I don't. I would much rather sit down and play something in a Duna engine, or Dunia, whatever they want to call it. Like Far Cry, or play Horizon Zero Dawn, or something along that lines. Yeah, I've cut myself off at home. I don't do any of that at home at all anymore. I used to sit here every single night for 10 hours and write software, and only play games rarely. I don't do it anymore. It's for my sanity. I sat down over 1 year, every night till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I lived on 5 hours of sleep, and I wrote an entire point of sale system with inventory management. I never did anything with it, but I did write it. It did purchase ordering, it did receiving, cash register, integrated with hardware. I did all that in a year, working at night. and then just walked away from it. It was really bad. It was to the point where I would wake up in the middle of night with chunks of code in my head because I was looking at it for so long, and then I'd be able to go the next day and I'd have all this code already developed and ready to go. Like, okay, that might be good in a way, but it was bad in another way. It was bad on my sanity, terrible on my brain. I'm not as productive anymore, but I'm a sure happier person. So if a project came up at work where I had to use Unreal, I would jump on it. But that's not likely to happen. The last thing I wrote at work was called the assisted ordering tool. And now I'm working on the allocation tool. Well, somebody else's stuff. Yeah, see, I basically grew up on this stuff. My dad was a retail manager in a like we grew up in a smaller town where it was like the only store in town. So we would go in when we were younger, when we were kids, and help him do the manual, like hand inventory. And then when I worked at a place called United Army Surplus here. For 10 years when I was little, and well, maybe not 10 years, 8 years, I don't know, something like that. It's all a blur because we use software POS, and then I went to work for the company. So like we would have somebody come in to help us do inventory, and we would use scanners and scan all our inventory. So I have a huge understanding of that whole thing. So before I went and did this, I'd already known what the real life scenarios were. But now, like, things are totally different now. Things used to be much simpler back then. Like now I'm writing a tool that uses a method called double exponential smoothing on a data set in order to get rid of the peaks and the lows in a set of data to automatically generate orders. Like it's crazy the difference that the level we've taken things to these days. It won't be long before AI is doing it all though, and I'll be out of a job. Hopefully it doesn't happen within my career. Okay. Oh, there's a huge chunk done here today. Massive. Like all of this has all been done. All of this. And now all of this. Very happy with it. Obviously, I got to put a lot more color in around here. I need some of these. Wow. So if you can do that, you can write you can easily write an API to have your Amazon Echo take care of any of that stuff. You know, like we're at that point these days. You know, but like the weird thing is this is all accessible to us. You can go out and buy an Arduino. And you can sit down, you can plug it in USB, you can sit down in a web browser based IDE, and you can actually manipulate digital data through an address, a data bus and an address bus, and just all within an Arduino. You've got outputs, and you can read these things and write these things, and like that's all available to us. I know I'd never do that myself because I'm too busy playing games, but you can. Okay, let me just do one thing here. I'm going to do this. Hey, Rapdoxel. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it's going right now. Obviously, the coaster's not really up to snuff. It needs some work, basically. Like that. Why is that there? No idea. Didn't put that there myself. Didn't think I'm going to put that there. Wasn't a thing that happened. Oh, and there's all these trees that I'm hitting. I'm going to have to fix that. Buildings need to be removed. Oh, no, it needs more than smoothing. It needs a lot more than smoothing. There's places that need to be moved completely. As far as I know, this is the only thing that's going to be... What's going on? That's better. It's supposed to be dark in here. There's not going to be a lot staying where it is. Like, even this is going to need to be fine-tuned, because obviously I'm inside a wall. Why do I hear fireworks going off? That doesn't make any sense. They're not here. There should be no fireworks. Oh, Elite Dangerous. I played a lot of Elite Dangerous before I started YouTube. There were, one day, I spent over 8 hours in the Oculus Rift. But everything I did, I did everything by voice. When it came to, Elite Dangerous. I had some piece of software where I could just say, I could give it commands and it would do key press sequences. And the only thing I had to do was set the hat on my joystick to be up and down so that when it came to navigating to places, I could move up and down and stuff like that. So I was completely blind, so I couldn't use my keyboard. But I could use my, my flight stick and all that. I love that in the Oculus Rift. You could get up and walk around the back of your chair and look at the back of your chair. Yeah, it was awesome. Hey, somebody else made it. Yeah, everybody's forgot. Oh well. Voice attack. That's the one. Voice attack. But I don't know. I got bored of it. No, what happened? So what happened? I played in beta and everything like that. And what happened? So there were these tools, these web tools that you could use to figure out how your trading and stuff like that worked. Or where was the best place to go to trade certain goods and things like that. And I thought I was doing okay. I was making some money. You know, it was still a little bit of a grind. But it wasn't totally tedious. And then they blocked the API. And that was the end of it. Now the game is just totally tedious to get anything done. And I guess, a lot has changed since then. But I didn't go back. I just couldn't bring myself to go through that anymore. Oh, it was working again. Well, again, I don't know if that's what it was. I don't know. I actually... Hey, these nuts. I had a mojito today. Is that like a drink? And I am doing good. How about yourself? Sounds like a drink you'd get in a Mexican restaurant for some reason. I don't know why. I could be wrong. Okay. I don't know what to do here. I'm making myself dizzy. Mint. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I can't believe it's like 8:45 already. Looks like it's gonna be another fast food dinner. I gotta stop that. I'm off for the next week. I gotta make sure I'm not eating fast food every single day. Hennessy. I prefer to stay sober. Other than like 1 or 2 beers, I haven't really had anything to drink in years. I find this is not something I enjoy when I'm drinking. What is being tedious in Planet Coaster? I don't know. Doesn't everything become tedious in Planet Coaster after a while? It definitely becomes tedious before you're done building it. So did everybody see the on Channel 5, Channel 5 Gaming, the I don't know, showcasing of Glow World? That was something that happened on Sunday. So that was my second park showcase on Johnny's channel. It did make a difference. It still only got 29 ratings. It had 28 before it started. So I don't know if I'm really, you know, excuse me, pleased with the performance. I think because of it's extremely unique, I thought it would have got more. But you know, what do I know? This will probably do the same thing. I'll upload it. Nobody will ever see it. I'll go one step further to total depression. No, I'm just kidding. Though I have to admit that seems to be a problem with YouTubers. It's not a very forgiving hobby. Maybe that's not it. I don't know what the right way to describe it is. Awesome. Well, see, I don't. I really wish that YouTube could help, like, it becomes a business. Yeah, not for me. If it was a business, I've gone broke and bankrupt. But it becomes all-consuming, is what it is. It becomes a place where it can provide really high gratification at times, and then at the flick of a switch from their end, everything changes. Like that. This is the reason I'm here on Twitch, and you're gonna notice there's no YouTube here anymore. No YouTube at all. I'm not streaming to YouTube anymore, and the reason, because they've basically shut down my channel, because what I did was stream. I didn't produce video content on a daily basis anymore. I didn't do game uploads. I streamed. So my channel slowly started to atrophy. And I got to the point right after I reached 1,500 subscribers where it started going down. And it's all because live streaming on YouTube is hidden behind a click wall that nobody knows about. So this is where we are now. And after this content is done, I am going to end up uploading it to YouTube. It's terrible that this needs to be a thing. But that's what's happened. And you know that I'm kind of disgusted with them now, too. Because over the years, they've given out what's called a verification check mark. Like, to people that they've worked with, that they've done content with. And now they're taking it away. They're taking away a verification to say, oh, this person is this person. This channel represents this person. And now they're going yoink. And taking away verification. They're disgusting. I don't know what they're going to gain from it. Like, there's people with like almost 2 million subscribers having their verified removed from their channel now. And I don't know. Welcome to Twitch, everybody. You know. So yeah, the problem with YouTube lately has been that I'm not getting any growth unless it comes from Twitch or from Mixer. The only new people subscribing to my channel are coming from other platforms that I stream to. And that should never ever be the case. The people, like, I haven't had a subscriber to YouTube for 20 days. 20 days! You know, my last follower on other platforms, follower was yesterday. So how does that make any sense? And again, I finally got off my butt and decided to do something about it. And stop streaming to YouTube altogether. But after this is done, I have to download it all and re-upload it to YouTube. I'm also, like, as people know, I've only had 5 viewers today. I'm at my peak right now, and I'm not used to that. This is really hard for me. It's hard. The resisting just going back to YouTube that basically just abused me as it abuses streamers to the point where they don't exist. Abused is not the right word. Sorry, I shouldn't use that because that's a real thing. Well, yeah, see, you know what, though? Like, that's one thing about YouTube. I did a 2-hour live stream, and I went in, and I put ads on the hours. People complained. And I'm like, I basically said, well, forget you. Like, go away. I don't want you as a subscriber. You're basically saying that I should produce content for you for nothing. Nothing. I should spend hours of my time producing content for you to watch, and you should not have to put anything into it at all. And I will agree that the 2 ad things is awful. That should have never been done. Like, what you're better off doing there is having a single ad at the beginning and 1 ad 10 minutes in, and then leave the rest. Is probably what you're best off doing. But what bugs me the most about the double ad is only one of them is skippable. So the second ad is generally skippable. And the first one is anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds. Why? I should be able to skip both of them. So, you know, I hate to do it, but I started running an ad blocker. Hey, Pyroxy T24. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Roman. Yeah, I do miss Roman's daily vlogs. But, you know, there's a lot on YouTube that I used to watch, and I used to watch a lot, and I'm not watching it as much as I used to. Well, it's the same thing, like I discussed on Discord. Oh, and maybe I should do this. Okay, anybody who wants to join Discord, join us on Discord. I am going to post a link right now. It's good for the next day. Come join us all on Discord. We're there every day. All the announcements for what I'll be streaming, what I'm uploading to YouTube are there. You know, we have awesome conversations during the day. We have there's a leveling system that we've got so that people are more active, level up, and basically, hey, Howling Mad Murdoch, welcome. And basically, we just have a place where we share and chat. I do announce my streams there, of course. Okay, need some more color in here. And of course, the whole, if you go to, like, the whole YouTube story is actually in the announcements. This is something that's happened really recently, like 3 days ago. So if anybody's interested to know what the mindset is, what I'm going through on YouTube, you know, it's all there in the explanation, in the announcements, and I'm gonna try to keep that up. I'm going to definitely try to be more communicative about what's going on the channel, what my plans are, what I'm doing, because I've just been bad at that. The other thing, of course, is I am looking for people who have been here for a while. I am looking for moderators. I have auto moderation on, but you know, it's not perfect. So I'll be looking to fill that role on the Discord channel. Hey, Draco Puma, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, it's just gonna. Well, I'm trying to create a positive community. We're gonna play Planet Culture, Planet Zoo, and then on top of that, I'm probably gonna play a lot of first-person shooters, or what I guess they're action role-playing games, first and third-person action role-playing games these days. So I'm having a really hard time not buying Borderlands 3. I feel as though if I do buy it, I'm gonna feel like somewhat of a hypocrite. You were up all night recreating the hop the leaps or hop the gaps. Okay, now I gotta go. Not go, but I gotta go look. We're gonna save Apocalyptic City. We'll override it. Where is it? What am I looking for? See, are you trying to recreate the coaster on the Carnival area park? See, yeah, I remember that. Because we built it. It was the predecessor, wasn't it? It's not the one that's in the park. It's the one we built before we put the one in the park. I can't remember. Yeah, Google getting on YouTube bought monetization. Well, these nuts, I don't know who you are on Discord. I don't know if you're Howling Mad Murdoch or Draco Puma. I'm not really sure. Hop the Gaps. Leap the Dips, I think was the other one. Can you show me your park? You can show me your park. I'm so So, I'm trying to express something here. Yeah, Leap the Dips was the original coaster. Yeah, that's the one that the thing is based on, I think. I can't remember. The Planet Coaster one is called something. The real one in real life was called something else. Okay. So I don't see you. You're not one of my friends on Steam. Okay, so the final version of the coaster that we're talking about here is this. This is the final version. This is not the one we're actually talking about. As you can see, my parks are very diverse. I'll pull out the other one too, because I think I saved it. The problem with this coaster is it turns left too much. Hey gang, okay. Whoops, that's me talking. Just ignore me. I got nothing to say. So there's a link to my Steam, so you can send me a friend request. So the problem with this coaster is it turns left too much. It's a lot of left turns. And I had to fight to get it to do right turns, because I really screwed up and built the whole thing first. So, it's kind of weird, because basically, when the point that, that we're talking about here, this was just blank. This was all blank. It was just a flat, green field. So we don't really have a lot of room, but I'm gonna see if it exists still, because I bet you I saved it. Crappy food store. My first coaster I ever built. I don't want to be riding that. Okay. So, this is one of the first roller coasters. You saw your pyramid, did you? So in real life, there's this coaster called Hop the Gaps. And this is basically a recreation of it. Now, it was very simple, and what it did was just have dips. It was slow. It wasn't an exciting coaster. It must have just freaked the crap out of people back then, though. Like, look at it. It's made out of wood. Who would trust this thing? You can just see this thing flying apart at the seams. And then the first dip. And we watched videos and everything to try to get this right. Because this is still operational, eh? In real life, it's like 100 years old or 80 years old, and it's still operational. It was recently refurbished. And getting all this to line up like this was a nightmare. It's good, though. Did that work? Yeah, it should have worked. It's a bit.ly link. Awesome. So you want me to throw this up in the workshop? I don't know. I can't see it anymore. I lost it. Old Western Coaster. Oh, that was bad. Oh, the old mill. That one's awesome. There it is. Nope. Can't read the Steam page. What? Okay, I'm going to Twitch right now. If I start talking to myself, it's because I'm on Twitch, and it's not really me. It's me. It's the other me. Oh, it's muted. Okay, so I'm going to paste the link again. And no chat comes up. There it is. There you go. There's the full link to my profile. You've got Game Face, and this is my Steam profile. my intro to all my videos used to be, you've got Game Face, and this is Far Cry 4. So my Steam profile does it. What you really need to check out is my YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that was this. If I could figure out where it is, I would upload it to YouTube. Yeah, that's what I said. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's called Hop. It's called Leap the Gaps. Okay, there you go. If you want it, grab it now. Because I'm taking it down. It's not part of my the grand picture I'm trying to create, so it's not going to last very long. For those who want to grab it, it is kind of a cool little ride for something like old. I'm gonna pretend I'm a train. Oh, we gotta finish this tunnel. I only did it like right up to here. So there's lots of work to do here. Gotta finish the tunnel, then the map is done. That's the 16,000 piece train station. Okay, we're gonna ride a coaster here. I just want to run through this. This is still one of my favorite things, is this train station. Both my train stations I'm happy with. But I think this one looks more, I don't know, it looks more something. Okay, let's ride the other coaster. We'll spend the night at the Stanley Hotel. It's haunted, you know. Then we'll ride the coasters. Ooh, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Ooh, 9:15. Well. We keep on changing the color of this coaster because it seems to be the wrong color. It used to be green. Didn't like green. Everything's green. Oh! Saving. Game saved. Why? I don't know. Why you're saving right now? Something I haven't even changed. Oh. Yeah, see, I build everything starting on the grid and then move them into place when I'm pretty confident that I've got all my grid pieces in it. But, you know, the biggest problem with Planet Coaster, and I've said it since day one, align to the world, align to the object, where's a line to the grid? They've missed a line to the grid, and it causes all of those problems. If only they would have had a line to the grid. I think Planet Zoo has a line to the grid. So it was an underlying decision that they made ahead of time that basically disallowed a line to the grid. So I'm hoping Planet Zoo solves a lot of the underlying issues. I love this park. I really need to come and finish it. The other park I really, really need to finish because, you know, I've spent so much time. I've spent hundreds, probably about 500 to 700 hours working on that park. No, I wish things were that simple. It's not just a matter of adding it to Planet Coaster. Planet Zoo is going to fail? I don't know. I don't think it's going to. I think what it's going to do, though, is put a dent into the Planet Coaster community. Planet Zoo can't be an add-on to Planet Coaster. It would be nice if it was, but the engine, there's just so many things that the engine would not be able to do. There's also different types of pathing. There's staff pathing versus public pathing. There's huge changes that just you couldn't really support. It would be a hack on, not a mod or an add-on. It would be a hack on. Would be basically the best way to explain it, I think. It's just there's just too many things that just wouldn't really, go. And it's not. See, I think the big thing is the way the world looks. Like, these are the ground materials we have in Planet Coaster. In Planet Zoo, you have ground that has grass on it. You have natural stuff. So yeah, they've made some advances in the engine that allows for all that stuff. So this is another world I've built. That I'm just, taking a quick visit to. And I don't know. I don't know. I was always thinking I would come back to this. But I look at it now and I'm like, it just doesn't do what it used to. Oh well. I'm happy with it, I guess. I might come back and work on it one day, but I think I'm going to end up coming back on working on something scary and getting that finished. Sub to your Steam. I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, so I'm not sure what you mean. Like, there's no subscription. I can ask you to be friends. I'm not really sure the way that's gonna go, Wolfie. I'm not really sure yet. So So, let's see here. It wants a number. I just can't find you. Like, I see your profile here, but I don't log into Steam on Chrome. I only log into Steam on Steam. Oh, there you go. No, that's not you. That's a different profile. Right, but you're not the only one with that name, eh? Yours has spaces in it, though. Steam doesn't require 100% unique names. Is the thing? Oh well. I click back instead of closing it. You know what though? I am gonna leave this here. I really need to go get some food. It's supper time. It's past supper time. And I have to go to the grocery store to get it because I'm out of soda as well. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow sometime with more of Apocalyptic City. I'm not coming back to these yet. Yeah, I got. It's already there. It's already set up. I've already done that. So yeah, stay tuned on the Discord, and stream announcements will be posted there. I'm also, like I said, going to start announcing my streams on Twitter. So yeah. So today we actually got quite a bit done. All of this was finished today. All of this bridge, all the stuff around it, and we did this whole new building, crumbled building here, as well as all the water area and all these trees and all this nature. We got nature just coming out of our pores. And I'm quite happy with it. I think this is going to be another excellent ride. But like I said, gotta leave this here because food. So until next time, I'm GameFace. This was Planet Coaster. Sorry. I keep on saying, if you liked it, click the button. Well, okay, so I'm gonna have to keep saying that because I am gonna upload this to YouTube after. So let's just try that again. So until next time, I'm GameFace. This was Planet Coaster. If you liked it, click the button. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. This isn't working, is it? And I will see you next time.
Yeah.